Good morning, all. Hope you are able to hear me.
Yes, Ramir.
Yeah, thanks
Yes,
for the
Manish.
information. The thing is, yesterday we discussed about what do you mean by client, what kind of data will be there in the client, clear? And as I mentioned that, what are the clients SAP pre-defined it will provide. Okay, the client numbers what are the client numbers we can use? The client numbers we can use from 000 to 999. That is nothing but 1,000 client numbers in any server, right? And whenever the client purchases the SAP server, SAP standard it will provide, okay, three servers, there are three clients. One is 000 client, 001 client, and 066 clients, right? So never ever use these three clients numbers in your interview. So normally your interviewer will ask what clients you have worked, what client environment you have worked, right? So never ever use these numbers, these client numbers 000, 000, 001, and 066. Clear? This is SAP standard installed clients. So what are the things will be there in these clients? In the sense, this is 000 is nothing but a reference client. Means, so total end-to-end configuration will be mentioned in 000 client. Now we can't edit, we can't change, we can't delete any sort of configuration in 000 client. Only we can view. Only we can view in this particular client environment, 000 client, which is provided by SAP. And same time 001 client. 001 client is a sample client. 001 client is a sample client, and it initially it looks like the same like 000 client. Whatever data will be there, the same configuration data will be available in 001 client also. And what is, and we called it as a sample client, as I mentioned. So what we can do here, whatever changes, whatever practice we want to do, we can do in 001 client with the help of the reference client. Clear? Already the data will be there. Whatever configuration changes, whatever things we want to do it, we can do in 001 client. Clear? And this is SAP standard one, right? In real time, you will use these clients only for reference and practice purpose. Clear? Not real time configuration. So never ever say that I have worked under a client environment called 000 client or 001 client. Okay, and one more client there will be 066 client. And this particular client environment access will not be there for all. This will be there for your product owner or a project manager, or someone will have. This is called early watch service. Early watch service. What does it mean, early watch service? In the sense, for example, we are working in Hyderabad, for example. As a consultant, we are doing configuration in Hyderabad. Okay. And your project owner or a product owner sitting in US, Texas, or Singapore, or somewhere else. Remotely, he is working. And whatever configuration changes we are doing in the live, he can watch from this particular client, right? In real time, whatever configuration changes we are doing, that he or she, your project owner or the product owner, can view directly live, not a post-mortem. Live, he can view whatever settings we are changing, whatever configurations we are changing, whatever customizations we have requested, all those stuff will be found in 066 client. So this is called early watch client. Remotely it will work. So never ever say I have worked under a 000 client, 001 client, 066 client. So don't use these client numbers. Don't use these client numbers in your interview. And one more client we are not supposed to use. One more client we are not supposed to use. Yesterday also I have shown. So okay, for example, so this is application, SAP application. So here this is a client 800. So here SAP has provided client 800 for education and training purpose. Education and training purpose. It is only we can do only training, whatever trainings we are going to do complete 8 months, 9 months, we can work under 800. So in real time, you won't find client called 800. You won't find client called 800. SAP has dedicatedly reserved this particular client for training and practice, training and education purpose. Clear? So total how many clients we are not supposed to say in front of interviewer, in the sense 000 client, 001 client, 066 client, and 800 client. And I advise, don't use any 800 series. From 800 to 899, don't use it. It's better. Apart from that, any number you can use. Apart from these three reserved numbers and 800 to 899, don't use at all. Because if I say 820, okay, it's not for education purpose, or 870, but they will have some sort of minute doubt that 8 series normally real time 99% client won't use, and SAP won't provide that particular client 8 series. So they will have a question that, okay, this person worked under training and education server, education system, not in real time system. So that's the reason I for each and every batch, I'll say the same thing. Don't use these three client numbers, and same time 800 to 899, that 100 numbers don't use. So total 103 numbers, don't use it out of 1000 clients. Apart from that, you can use anything, any number you can say. So any questions still here?
So now Naveen, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So regarding client 066, it's early watch server.
Correct.
So like what they will see in that server, like what all changes they will see?
See, for example, we are a different consultants, right? For example, our team is working under FICO. We are FICO consultants, and same thing, consultants will be there, logistics consultants will be there, SD, PP. Clear? So what they will do, for example, I'm set as a consultant, I am doing the configuration. In FI part, FI module, right? So my product owner, my project manager is sitting in somewhere, China or somewhere. Clear? So whenever, for example, I am getting some sort of questions or some sort of configurational issues, some sort of business process issues. Clear? So to whom I need to raise? To whom I need to raise, in the sense, I need to raise my product owner or a project owner.
Okay.
Clear? So what I'll do, instead of sending an email and this thing, just I'll text him, for example, whatever connection, Teams or whatever it is, I'll tell him I'm getting an issue with this particular configuration or this particular customization. So immediately he will log in into that environment and he can check there and he can advise. Okay. So instead of entering into our client, our environment, instead of that, he can check in 066 client itself. So the same data will be flow, whatever configuration link we are doing in client. So the same thing will be replica, will be available in 066 client.
Okay. So automatically it will
exactly.
Okay, replicate. Okay.
Yes. Whenever we save some sort of configuration, some sort of setting, automatically the replica will update it in 066 client itself.
Okay. So like which one it will consider now, like in when we are when we are entering into the project, they will do development server and event quality, and after that production, right? So correct. Which one it will take as a base?
I see all the configuration things will be done in development.
Yeah.
Right. We will correct. See that. Okay.
Okay.
So till here up to client concept. That's whatever client we are talking about, 000, 001, 066, 800 client. Any questions in that? Before
Naveen, I have one question actually regarding the methodology part.
Okay.
So basically, like few of my friends are also in this field, and even I was going through the interview questions of this. Okay. They are mostly towards activate methodology. What is that? What's the difference between SAP and activate methodology?
Normal, yeah, I'll explain that. Activate methodology normally we are using in S4 HANA module. See, here in SAP methodology, what we need to do, follow step by step. First step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step. Correct? But activate methodology means you need not to follow the sequentially. Any method, any step you can do first. Hope you got my point. First, I will start with third step, and after that, I'll start with fourth. Then next, I want to configure first step, and after that, I'll configure fifth step, and after that, I'll configure second step. But here in ASAP methodology, you need to follow the sequential order. And over there, as a activate methodology, you can follow random methodology. Either you can follow sequence or random. So that's the reason.
But we'll have
It's
to
too
follow
early
everything
actually.
like blueprint, realization, everything we have to do it, is it?
Correct. You need to follow all the steps, but anything you can do first in activate methodology. It's too early to discuss what is activate methodology because we haven't entered into the ECC part as of now. So that's the reason I'm just parked that particular point, activate methodology.
Okay, because I was like going through the interview videos, and like also a lot of friends told me that they are mostly focusing on active methodology now.
Exactly, because see, again, I'm telling you, see, most of the companies, again, whatever 100 companies are there, for example, 100% companies are there. So they are using majority 60% or 70% companies. 72% companies are still working on ECC module, ECC version. Means nothing but not activate methodology, ASAP methodology. Okay. And 28% companies are already migrated, or they have started directly on HANA, S4 HANA. Right? HANA, S4 HANA, it's nothing but they are going to follow as a activate methodology. But still 72% companies are still using ECC. So as I mentioned earlier also, 2028, SAP as AG has given a deadline. SAP AG has given a deadline stating that whatever companies are working under ECC, who are using ECC version, clear, they need to migrate by 2028. Migrate by 2028 to S4 HANA. Clear? But companies are still, they are okay till working till 2027. Another 4 years or 2028. So till 2028, whatever companies are working on ECC version. So what SAP AG mentioned is whatever issues they are going to face. So SAP AG will support free of cost till 2028. Okay. If the companies are not able to migrate from ECC to S4 HANA or HANA database, third party SAP database, right? So it has given 2 additional years, that is from 29 and 30. 29 and 30. Okay, these 2 years, if the companies are still working on ECC, they are still using ECC version. Okay, if they got any sort of issues, right? SAP AG is not going to give the solution free of cost. They will charge some minimum amount for each and every solution. Okay, and but after 2030, 100% till now, that's what I'm saying. Now that whatever view is there, after 2030, all the companies must migrate to S4 HANA or HANA database. That is the thing. Actually, it was early. It was 2025 only, 2025. Because of COVID pandemic situation, it was extended till 2028 to 2028 and 30. Earlier, it was 2025 and 2027. So clear. So that's the reason it's too early for us. And most of the opportunities right now, whatever existing companies are there, still another 4 years, 5 years, they are going to use another 6 years. They are going to use ECC version itself. Because why after that, why they want to take time, 72% companies in the sense, why they want to take, if at all any new features are added, in HANA, clear, so that directly they can adopt with the new feature, new functionalities. So that's the reason existing companies, 72% companies are still waiting to migrate after 2028 and 29. Or maybe they can go ahead, they can afford that minute expenditure, and they can go in 2030 itself. Clear? So that is the reason market is looking. See, you need to have, again, I'm reiterating, you need to have a ECC knowledge, mandatory, that is 100% knowledge, mandatory. But at least if you have a knowledge on S4 HANA, S4 HANA, if you have a knowledge at least, then that would be added advantage. Clear?
But Naveen, thing is, like as a consultant, you will be working on new projects, right?
Correct.
So the companies who are implementing new assignments in the company, like the new SAP systems, but the new companies who will implementing it, they'll go for S4 HANA, right? They won't be
See,
going for the
again, that's what I'm
ECC.
saying.
So
That's
they
what
are
I'm,
one, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, for, as I said, that new companies, in the sense, already SAP is captured 80% of the market in ERP, complete whatever softwares are there, 80% market is captured by SAP. Okay, so another 20%. So again, another at least 15% market is going to be extended their software from other ERPs to SAP. So those new companies directly they will adapt S4 HANA. But how about the 80% companies? Because they are the partners from long, since long. So whatever projects, whatever clients they are working, clear, they are coming with different, they may come up with support project, clear, they may come up with automation projects, clear. So these projects don't require S4 HANA as of now, because they are already existing customers for SAP. So what are the things they want to do it? Instead of following the traditional methodology, they want to do new adaptability like automation projects or support projects or enhancement projects. Only implementation project, they will take a new S4 HANA database. But how about the existing? So they will they have a breathing time to migrate. If we are applying their newly fresh company, then that's the reason I said, right? As long as you are joined any organization, at least for first 2 to 3 years, they won't put you in implementation project. They'll ask you in interview, do you have a hands-on knowledge on S4 HANA? But ECC is a mandatory. So normally we will place the people who are having a ECC knowledge and as well as S4 HANA knowledge also. If you have a ECC knowledge, 80%, again, I'm telling you, 80% you are having an ECC knowledge, then what are the changes between ECC and S4 HANA? Only 15 to 20% changes are there. That's it. Nothing else. Majority changes are in asset accounting. There is a module called asset accounting, only in that, and minute changes in GL module. That's it. So if you know grip on ECC, so if you haven't seen the screen also, S4 HANA screen also, you can blindly say that, yes, I am having a knowledge on S4 HANA. Because what are the changes? We have only minute changes. 15 to 20% changes are there in S4 HANA. Only the major change is only the database is changed from third-party database to SAP database. Clear? So whatever existing customers are there, probably they won't go for S4 HANA right now. HANA database right now, because they have some breathing time. So that's the reason most of the interviews, still whatever happening, right? They will ask, they will mention S4 HANA knowledge is required. HANA knowledge is required. S4 HANA, especially for functional consultants, they'll mention it as an S4 HANA is required. But they won't mention that ECC is not required. No, ECC is the alphabets and word building. Unless until we don't have a knowledge, then we can't do any sort of configuration in S4 HANA. So whatever configuration S4 HANA we are going to do, 80% which is similar to ECC only. Which is similar to ECC, and hardly 20%, 15 to 20% changes will be there in few modules only, not complete 100% change. Is that clear? Any questions?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Naveen. As you said, like, 066 clients will be watching, and can they edit if something has to be changed?
No, they
in
won't.
server 06.
They won't edit it.
Okay.
They will check and they will advise us. We need to do the configuration part.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
They can just only early watch. That's the reason I said.
Okay.
Sir,
So can we proceed? Yes, please.
uh, 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 is it mandatory to remember these all
No.
configuration steps?
Configuration step in the sense the practical configuration steps.
Practical means,
Like, what do you mean by configuration steps? I didn't.
for example, if we want to do, take any one example, if we want to post the document entry, that is FB50, then for that purpose we have to do configuration steps. So we need to remember that all.
Yes.
So in
That is the only pain we will have. Here again, I am reiterating. Each and every batch initial also told, we won't write a single line program nor single line logic. We don't require, but only the thing is we need to remember majority things. And no consultant will remember 100%, but at least we need to remember 40%. And again, I'm saying that is possible only with the practice.
yeah,
But
means
it's a
40%
mandatory
is
to remember.
40% is enough.
Sorry?
40% is
Yeah,
enough.
40. That's what I'm saying. We can manage if we have a 40% knowledge on the if we remember 40%, then automatically we can pull that. Clear? No consultant across the globe will have they will remember 100%. Correct? Okay. But 40% we need to remember in this. That is also a lot of challenge at this particular time. But it is possible when we do a practice again and again, then only we can remember the things. See, for example, in this particular project, I am going to create one company and 3 company codes, and I'll show you the end-to-end project, end-to-end implementation. So in this, what are the things I'm going to cover? End-to-end implementation project I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover all the testing projects, clear, and all the integration projects I'm going to show the coming 8 to 9 months or whatever it is duration. Clear? So I am taking one company, I'm telling you, and 3 different company codes. Okay. But in meanwhile, what you need to do from your end in the sense, at least 10 companies or 20 companies, if possible, with 3 different company codes, end-to-end implementation. If you do, then 100% you will remember everything. You won't forget anything. Instead of data entry, see again, the thing, we are giving the recordings part. Normally what people will taking it as a grant recording. So whenever they will get the time, they will record, they will listen the recording and they'll start the practice in the sense, as long as whatever recording, whatever steps I have shown, they will look into that and they will do it. So that is not the correct way. That is not the correct way, because what you are doing is you are doing a data entry job. By looking at that, you are entering, but you're not using your brain. So what I'll advise is, first write in a notebook each and every step, check it out, and start your own practice. If it all stuck to somewhere, then go to recording. Least priority needs to be given to recording, not the first priority. First priority, class. Second priority, your prepared own notes. Clear? Third, same thing need to be followed in your practice. And if at all struck somewhere, then recordings. But normally it happens in reverse way. So that's the reason, by looking at recordings, people won't remember anything. Again, I'm telling you. Because initial batches, I never used to give any recordings. Because now people are a little busy because they'll miss the classes and all those stuff. So to fill that particular gap, I'm giving the recordings. Clear? So first, write down your notes as much as possible, stepwise, so that if you give a glance on that steps, you will remember the things. That is the only mantra to remember. And same time, as I said, that I'll create one company and 3 different company codes. So in your practice, the complete 9 months, try to create 10 to 20 different companies end to end, and 3 different company codes. 20 companies in the sense, almost all 20 into 3, 60 company codes. So if you do 20 companies and 60 company codes, okay, lifetime, again, I'll promise you, lifetime you won't forget a single step. Lifetime you won't forget a single step. And when I was in my practice part, Trust me, whether you trust me or not, I have created almost 100 to 150 companies with different company codes. And I'm not saying that I remembered everything and 100%, no, but maximum I remembered because of my practice. I used to take a leave of my office one day for only for practice purpose, Friday almost all. So that I used to think that I am in office, and that 9 hours time I used to spend for my practice. Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like that. Is this clear? Lavanya?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
So
clear,
everything we
very
will
clear.
don't enter that negative vibes. That is it possible to remember everything? Yes, 100% is it is possible. But only the thing is, it's not a challenging topic. I know it is an ocean. SAP is an ocean, but for whom? The people who won't practice properly, for them it's an ocean. But for us, it's simple as that. Like an alphabets, numbers, and whatever next. That is possible in SAP. Only the mantra is practice, practice, practice. If we dedicatedly spend time, then we can remember each and everything without a mess. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. And sir, one more point. Sir,
Yes.
in this business blueprint, rise up element is there, no? Topic.
Sorry. Yeah, it is there. I'll show you that also.
Yeah, please, sir.
Okay. Rise up methodology we will discuss in next coming sessions.
Okay, sir. Okay. Because that comes under business blueprint, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Next one. Okay. Shall we go ahead? So here, SAP landscape and system architecture in real time, how it will be there. Any project, again, I'm reiterating, any project, minimum 3 servers will be there. Minimum 3 servers will be there by default. So what do you mean by system landscape or a system architecture? In the sense, how we are arranging our servers. How we are arranging our servers is known as a landscape or architecture. So as I said, that any project, either it could be implementation project or support project or enhancement project, rollout project, support, whatever project it is. So minimum how many servers we will have? We will have 3 different servers. So first server, we will call it as a development server and customizing server, development and customizing server. Next one, quality assurance server. Next one, production server. 3 servers, development server, quality assurance server, and production server. 3 servers. So how we are going to arrange these 3 servers? In the sense, sometimes we will keep all the 3 servers at one place. For example, Reddy Labs is our client, clear? So we will arrange all the 3 servers at client place only. Or sometimes what we will do, we will Infosys is a base of Bangalore, clear? So that development server, all the configuration and customization will be done in this particular server, that we will keep in Bangalore. And other 2 servers, production server and quality server, we will keep at client place, clear? Or development server at Bangalore, quality server at Reddy Labs is having another branch in Vizag or Vijayawada. So they want to maintain, they don't want to have this particular server in Hyderabad, quality server. They want to have quality server in Vijayawada. So that will be placed, and production server is in Hyderabad. So how we are arranging in different places, where you want to arrange in same place or different places this server, that is called landscape or architecture of a server. So arranging of servers is known as a landscape, SAP landscape, that we will see. So, but by default, the landscape of any company will have 3 different servers. So landscape are nothing but arrangement of servers in a company. Arrangement of servers in a company. Clear how they are going to company, in the sense nothing but a client here. So development server, quality assurance server, production server. So who will use the servers? Development server 100%. Okay, end user will not have access to development server. Only consultants, we will have access to this development server. All the configurations and customizations will be done in development server. Okay, next one, we have a quality assurance server. Quality assurance servers in the sense, whatever configurations are done, whatever customizations are done, okay, that particular data will be moved from development server to quality assurance server. Okay, the movement from one server to another server, the data need to be moved from development server to quality server. In SAP terminology, we call it as a transport request, a transport movement of data from one server to another server. We call it as a transport. Clear? What do you mean by transport request in SAP? Moving of data from one server to another server or from one client to another client. We will call it as a transport. We are going to see in depth transport. Clear? So here development server to quality assurance, and here both consultants and end users will have access. So all the testings will be done here. So whatever developmental activities, configurations are done, customizations are done. Okay, here also we will do normal testing in development server, but the major testing will be done in quality assurance test server. So once everything is fine, everything is working perfectly, and if the end user says everything is fine, then that particular data will be moved from quality. Movement is nothing but transported from quality assurance server to production server. And end users, only end users will have access to production server. Consultants will not have access for production server. Only they have a display access. Consultants, we will have only display access. We can't do any real-time transactions of end user. Only we can view it, but we can't do any changes. Only who can change it? Only the end users can change it. Posting of transaction, GL master creations, or whatever it is, vendor creation and all the stuff, these people will take care. End users will take care. Clear? Again, I'm reiterating, development server and customization, that particular server access will have only consultants. We will have that particular access. End user will not even have access to development or not a display access also. They don't have. Quality assurance server, both consultants and end user will have access, both display access and as well as whatever modification changes, both can do it. And when it comes to production server, only end users, the real-time activity will perform in production server. And end users will have a complete access. But as a consultant, we will have only a display access. Clear?
Naveen, I have a question.
Please.
With the concept of end user, it's the client that you will be using the software is the end user. You mean to say that?
Sorry, I didn't get it. Can you please come again?
Like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
you said,
End user in the sense
would be,
who use the who use the software.
so it would be the client who would be using the software for their
Correct.
company.
Correct.
Okay.
Their day-to-day activities, whatever company or whatever client is going to use to do their day-to-day activities, that is nothing but your end user.
Thank you.
So here,
I have one question, Naveen.
please.
So when we purchase software from SAP AG, like would they provide all these 3 servers or?
Exactly, they will provide minimum 3 servers with the whatever license fee you are going to pay. So with that payment, they are going to provide 3 servers. See, the giant companies doesn't see, normally 90% companies, whatever data they are having, these 3 servers are enough for them. But any company, giant companies are there, the data is more or whatever it is. If they want more servers, then they can pay additional cost and they can take whatever server they want.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but minimum 3 servers.
Got
it. SAP will provide. So here, so again, I'm reiterating, development server. The server where all configuration and customization will be done according to implementation partner. That is nothing but end user, nothing but customer requirement. So this is your development server. Clear? So in this development server also, we have 3 different layers, as we know that. One is presentation layer, right? Application layer and database layer. Presentation layer, nothing but your end screen output, where you will see the output. Clear? As you know that application layer is nothing but your RAM, whatever thing it will process, and database layer is nothing but your hard disk, where data permanently stored. Clear? So in each server we have a 3 different layers: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. So here all the configurations and customizations are done according to the client requirement, customer requirement, end user requirement in a server called development server. Clear? What are the things we will see in here? So for example, there will be many clients in development server. See, as I said that how many clients we can have in one particular server? How many clients we can have?
1,000.
1,000. That is nothing but starting from 00 to 999 in each server. Again, I'm telling you. So from here, I can use the same server client numbers, and here also I can use the same client numbers. Here also I can use the same client numbers. That will not be a problem. But I need to use only from 000 to 999 in each and every server. Okay. It will not be a replica or not a duplicate. Right? Any client, for example, my company is Reliance and yours is Bajaj. Right? And I am using my client numbers from 000 to 999, any numbers, and the same numbers, because your interface is different and my interface is different. You can use the range from that particular 000 to 999, any number. So it may be same number. I am using 111 and you are also using 111. So you can utilize it. Not an issue. It's because our interfaces are not same. Because majority people will get the same question. Client numbers, if you are in the same server, you can't use it. Reliance development server, you can't use same client number. Clear? If I'm using number of multiple client numbers in my development server, okay, first thumb rule, you can use any number. You know that what are the numbers we are not supposed to use: 000, 001, 066, and 800 series. Clear? Apart from that, any number we can use in this development server for different activities. Okay, but whatever number we have already used, for example, 100 I have used for one particular activity, and I want to use another client number for another activity. Then if I'm using 100, then I'm not supposed to use again 100 for another activities. I need to use any other number. In Reliance, same thing. Bajaj also can do the same thing. Clear? Any questions here?
Yeah, Naveen, I have a question. As you said, like, in quality server and production server will be placed under a client location is kind of in a security reasons.
Yes, most of the times it's a security reasons only, because see, again, I'm telling you again, this was the initial classes I have discussed. See, for example, see, what are the things happened is, normally a development server I'm having in Hyderabad city, right?
Okay.
Same time, SAP will provide one backup server, or you can consider anything, production or anything. Say I'm having a production server in Bangalore, right? So in due to some natural calamities, right, my server got crashed. Due to only in Bangalore city, whatever servers were there, it got crashed in all ERPs, right? Then production server got crashed. Then how to work in future? 10 years of data is there in that. Okay, so for that, what it will do, most of the data, they will take a backup immediately. Every 24 hours, the interface happens. The backup interface happens. So normally what companies will do is, if I'm having a production server in Hyderabad, then the backup server will not be in Hyderabad. It will be somewhere else in Singapore, China, or somewhere else. Clear? So
okay,
if it is got crashed, then we can retrieve the data from that particular server. If backup server got crashed, not an issue, because already the data is there in my original server. So I can again create the backup server. I can create and we can send the data to backup server.
Okay.
Naveen, add to this point, I think this is a BCP plan also to have a second server.
Correct.
With the main
Business
server,
continuity
right?
plan. Correct.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So here in development server, again, I'm using here, for example, there will be many clients in development server, for example. So I'm taking example as an client 100, client 110, client 120, and client 130. In development server, I'm having client 100, client 110, client 120, and client 130. Okay, so same this particular server, I am doing a partition. Okay, client 100, 110, 120, 130. So what are the activities I can do? So it is, I'm taking only 4 clients, but you can have 10 clients also in one particular server or more also. Clear? According to your transactions, client transactions. So here it is considered as a client 100. It's a sandbox client. We call it as a client. There is, don't use this term. This is not standard. It's only example. I said 100 client is a example I took. Okay. We can remember this terminology. Sandbox client. What do you mean by sandbox client? I'll tell you. It's an optional client. It's an optional client. Okay. It is a practicing system. Again, you remember I said 001. You remember 001 client. It is again for practicing. So this is, we renamed it as a client 100. 001 to client 100. This is nothing but 001 client. It is a practicing system, or we can call it as a test configuration client. For example, you have hired for a company, and you didn't got the project. You didn't got the project till 1 month or 2 months time, and you are sitting idle. So what your organization will do is they will provide some SAP environment, real-time environment they will provide, and they will give you the access for this sandbox client. Okay, they will give you the access to sandbox client, and you can, they will give some scenarios. Okay, they will give some scenarios, and we need to practice those scenarios in this particular environment, sandbox environment, sandbox client environment. Understood? So here, why we are calling it as a sandbox client, in the sense, anytime we can delete, we can rub it, we can delete that particular practice data, test environment. So every company will have, and not only end user company, development partner will also have this particular server. So as soon as the employee joins, if they don't have a project right now, so instead of sitting idle, they will give you some sort of trainings and some sort of scripts, and they will ask to practice and show the output. Majority companies will do. And that server, that environment, we are going to call it as a sandbox client. Again, that is not a quality. Whatever testing, no, we are doing in a sandbox client. So why we are calling it as a sandbox? You know that sand. We can write anything, we can wrap it. So that's the reason we call it as a sandbox client. It's an optional client. It may be there, it may not be there. When it will be there, if employees are sitting on a bench, then probably they'll give. If all employees are engaged, then what is the use of this sandbox client? Clear? It's an optional. Okay. So here, again, it is a practicing system, or we can call it as a test configuration client. In this, no transport request will be generated. What do you mean by transport request? Once we press save button, once we, whatever configurations we have done, once we save it, in normal Windows or Microsoft, once we save it, it will ask for where it need to be saved, and what is the name you want to give it to the file, and which folder you want to save. Correct? In the same way, in SAP also, whatever configuration you save it, clear, it will ask where you want to save, which it will generate a transport request number. For each and every configuration step, it will ask for one transport request number. So we need to select that, and we need to say okay. Okay. So, but for sandbox client, whatever activities we will do, if we save it also, it won't ask for transport request number. That is nothing but it won't ask for where to save, which folder you want to save. It won't ask. Folder is nothing but transport number here. Clear? And whatever activities we do in this server stays in it only, in this client only it will stays, and never reflected in other servers or other clients. So it will remain the same in the same client 100 only. So that is called sandbox client. It's an optional client. Clear? Next one, we have golden client. Next client, we call it as a golden client. So here, golden client, I took a number called 110, client 110. Again, and I'm reiterating, these are not standard numbers. In real time, that could be any number your client can use it. 400, 410, 660, any number they can use. Clear? Here I took just an example, 100 series 110. Okay. So this particular here, the real-time activity configuration or a golden client. Okay. And here redo to perfection is done in the golden client. It is a neat client. It is a neat client. Okay. And cannot be used for trial and try purpose. Okay. It cannot be used for trial like this. You can't just, I want to try in this. No, we can't do it. It's a neat client. Golden client is also known as a neat client. Okay. And cannot be used for trial and try purpose. In this, the real configuration will be done. The real activity of consultant will work in this particular client. Which client we are going to work in a real time, in the sense that is nothing but a golden client or a neat client. Clear? Not on a sandbox client. Fine. So do we need to remember? Not required. Just for your beneficial, I'm explaining this. Okay. Next one, client 120. Client 120. One more client we have in this particular development server. Object development client is purely for ABAPers. So here we will do in client 110. We are doing all the configurations as a FI consultant or a CO consultant. We are doing all the configurations. Okay. So as I said that Ready Labs is our customer. Ready Labs is the end user. Okay. They have a total 80 business processes. 80 business processes. Correct. Out of 80, we are able to map 73 business processes. 73 business processes. 73 business processes. Okay. Directly we are able to map 73 business processes with SAP standard business process. Means directly we can map whatever SAP standard configuration. Already SAP will give some configurations. Clear? Standard process. So directly how many we are able to map? 73 business processes. How many gaps are there? 7 gaps. 7 processes are gaps. So here means SAP is not providing solutions to these 7 processes. Okay. Then what we need to do as a consultant, we need to customize. We need to customize. This is a customer specific requirement. The 7 processes are customer specific requirement. Globally, 73 are common, for example, but 7 we are not able to map with SAP standard business process. Then what we will do is, whatever 7 gaps are there, that we will give it to technical consultants. Technical consultant. It's not our job to develop the gaps. Technical consultants, we call them as a ABAPers. We'll call them as an ABAPers. Okay, what they will do, they will write backend, they will write the program. There is a programming, again I'm reiterating, there is a programming language called Advanced Business Application Program. Okay, so here these in the backend, all the screens will be developed in a programming language called ABAP programming language, all SAP screens. So here these ABAPers will develop, they will develop according to the customer requirement screens. So they will develop. Okay. And those customization development will be done in a client called Object Development Client. What is a client name? Object Development Client. And who will have access to this particular client? This is will have ABAPers. They will write a programming in this particular client. Clear? So here Object Development Client is purely for ABAPers. programming will be written according to customer requirement, whatever I said, okay, which are not able to map in standard SAP system. For what objects they are going to write a programming, which we are not able to, as a consultant, which we are not able to map configuration, we are not able to do the configuration with SAP standard to customer business requirement. So for that gaps, the ABAPers will write a program and will create the screens. Okay, configuration and customization. Next one, client 130. Okay, so this is nothing but redo. Okay, after the redo process, we will transport the developed objects. After we will transport the developed objects to development test client. So client 130 is nothing but testing, means whatever configurations are done, whatever customizations are done, that need to be tested. As a consultant, we need to test whether the configuration and customizations are working perfectly or not. So that is possible in client 130. That is nothing but, what is the test we are going to do? We are going to do unit testing. What do you mean by unit testing? Unit testing is nothing but, for example, we are FI consultants, right? And there are few more consultants from CO, and there are few more consultants from MM, and there are few more consultants from SD. So unit testing, in the sense, whatever FI related testing we want to do, we will do. And CO related testing, CO consultant will do it. MM related consultant will do MM related testing, and SD related consultant will do SD related testing. So this is individually, unit wise we are going to test. So that's the reason we call it as a unit testing. Or we can call this particular client 130 as a unit test client. Okay, and configurations will be tested by functional consultants, and customization will be tested by ABAPers. Clear? The programming language, whether it's working perfect or not. So that will be done in client 130. That is called unit test client or development test client. Okay.
Naveen, customization test in a sense related to issues which are not
no, customization in the sense, see, for example, as I said, that every business process end to end, we can direct, SAP will provide the standard SAP procedure. Okay, and customer business process, we can map directly with SAP standard business process. Then we call it as a configuration. We call it as a configuration. Directly we can map. We need not to write any programming and something. So for example, as I said, 80 business processes are there in Ready Labs, end user business processes. Out of 80, we can directly map SAP standard business process. We can directly map with Ready Labs. So as a consultant, we will pick it up and we will configure it. 73 business process, we have directly mapped it, configured it. Okay, but another 7 business processes which are there in the Ready Labs end user side, that SAP standard is not having that business process. SAP standard is not having that business process. Okay, so which means that SAP won't do that? No, SAP will do that. But for that, what, as a functional consultant, we are not going to do that. As a functional consultant, we need to only configure. That is our prime job. But what about the 7 gaps? Business required that. So those 7 gaps, whatever there, which is not there in SAP standard, so that will be, we need to explain as a functional consultant. We need to understand the requirement of client. We need to understand that those 7 requirements of client, and we have another technical consulting team that is called ABAP team. Okay, they will write the programming and they will develop the objects. They will develop the screens by writing a program. Clear? So as a functional consultant, we will explain them that this is a special requirement of customer, which is not there in SAP standard. So for that, we need to develop the objects according to client requirement. And what ABAPers will do, ABAPers will understand that requirement and they will start writing programming, coding and everything. And they will develop the screens according to the requirement of client. Those 7 business processes. Hope you got it.
Yeah.
That is called customization. Configuration means Whatever SAP standard is provided, if we directly map it, that is called configuration, and which we are not able to map directly with SAP standard business process with customer requirement, then that has to be written in a programming language, right? Then that is called customization. Understood? So in this particular client 130, whatever configurations we have done, we will test it. And whatever customizations ABAPer has done, they will also test it in this particular client 130. And whatever after testing, if everything is done, okay, then that will be moved via transport request. That is popped up out to every time. Again, I'm sorry. Configuration will be tested by functional consultant and customizations will be tested by ABAPers. Clear? Again, as I said, that whenever we say any configuration or customization step, then it will pop up a transport request number where we need to store the data, whatever changes we have done, everything we have to save it, and that we call it as a transport request. Understood? Any questions here?
Naveen, I have one question.
Please.
I have one doubt.
Okay, you can ask your question first.
Thank you. So this customization means, give one example.
See,
how we will explain to ABAPer means what are the client requirements, how we can explain to them.
That's what I'm saying. See, for example, SAP standard is providing one particular screen. For example, amount. If I take one field called amount, so it is showing a local currency, only local currency. It will show in the screen, which SAP provides in any particular screen. For example, I'll show you any screen. Okay, for example, FD60. See here, for example, this is INR. By default it is showing because it's that particular company code currency INR, but my client requirement is here it should show INR and as well as a global currency also. Global currency would be your hard currency, that is nothing but USD. But SAP standard providing field called INR only, company code currency only here. But my customer is having additional requirement along with INR, one more currency here it need to show, okay, that as USD. Understood? That is a special requirement which SAP standard is not providing that. Clear? So then we will explain, this is the particular screen which SAP standard is provided. Okay, but my client, our client is requirement is apart from INR, they need one more field for USD or any other currency, which SAP is not providing. Then what ABAPer will do? ABAPer will write a coding and program to provide this particular field, foreign currency field or whatever currency. That the way we need to write, we need to explain to ABAPer. We will have that again. The session will be there. We have what are the things will be there, whether you have involved in that particular project, whether you worked in interview, they will ask you, have you ever worked with ABAPer?
Yes, sir. Actually, how was the means? How is the procedure customized?
That I'll tell you. This is again, we are in basic. Still, the procedure and everything I'll explain you at the time of integration part.
Not through mail or any text mail, no? That is not correct
through
way.
Mail. Documentation we will, because we will work in the same place. So definitely we will do that. That is nothing but a ticketing tool. We will use some internal ticketing tool. With that ticketing tool, we will send it.
No, sir, for customizing, for client requirement.
Everything that has to be reported, right? See, what is a request you raised? So in the same way, they have the ABAPer has developed in the same way or not. If it is oral or verbal, see, you requested something and they have developed something. And at the end, you will say that this is not I have requested. They said that you have requested the same. That has to be some record, right?
Yes.
That would be done. See, again, company to company, it's different. That could be a normal message. That could be an email. That could be a tool, ticketing tool. Fine. Yeah.
What is that function specification? FS?
Sorry.
FS, that is function specification, something that is comes under customizing. That is
correct. See, that's what again.
I didn't understand
specification.
this point. Actually.
Business specifications, we call it as in
business specification, BS. Okay, but
Or-
FS, what is FS?
Same functional specifications, BS or BRD. Some company to company, they may use different terminology, but all is same. BRD, BS, FS, functional specifications, business specifications, business requirement document. Clear, all will have the same thing.
Okay, for that, some rules and regulations are there.
Yes, there will be some procedure how to prepare the documentation and all.
Okay.
Yeah, that I'll share. Again, I'm telling you that I'll share.
Please. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
No, even my question was same. Like when we are reaching to a Weber, like we should follow proper documentation, right? So it was same, like what documentation? Yeah.
Correct. See, that's what I'm saying. Again, you need to develop a documentation. What is a requirement? That is nothing but to be documentation. As is same again, whatever we see. See, as is what SAP standard providing, as is, and to be how it want customer required. That is, and again, that would be either you can, again, company to company. Some companies, they follow Excel also. Excel also, they will prepare a documentation. Documentation in the steps they will write in Excel, or you can prepare in your Word documentation. But that need to be attached through your email or through your ticketing tool. And I'll provide you, I'll show you all the documentation at the time of integration part. When we do our FI integrations with MM, FI integration with SD, CO integration, FI integration with CO, right? At the time of integration, I'll show you all the documentation, because here it's too early to discuss about that. Hope you got my point.
Those are real-time documents.
Exactly. Those are real-time documents which I had my freelancing projects.
But please show now how it's look like. I want to see.
I'll show you, I'll share it. That's what I'm saying, but it will take time. Actually, I need to get the latest one.
Any old also, it's okay.
I'll try to get it. I'll try to get it. Whatever things I have shared with the previous batches, I'll try to get it, but give me a couple of days time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Naveen.
Yeah.
What I am understanding from the point of view, what you are discussing right now, it's sort of like a tester and developer job. Like we are acting as a testers and developers are acting as a developers.
Not testers. We are also a software. We are not testers. We are going to do the functionality. Means SAP. This is your first class, I believe, right, Hitesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. This is nothing but we are not going to be a testers. We are not the testers. We are doing the configuration consultants. They will do their developers will have a minute job. They will, which are not there in SAP screens, that they will develop.
So they are developing a tool that we are working on. What's
exactly in the back end? See, whatever tool, whatever configuration, whatever this is particular SAP screen, whatever screen you are able to see, this is developed in the back end. That is, coding will be written, and who will written that coding? That will be written by a developer. You got my point?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's the reason what I said is just follow those recordings, and Saturday I'll take a session for everyone who missed the previous classes, so that the things would be clear for you. Okay.
Thank you, Navi.
Thanks. Any other questions? And one more request. Tomorrow onwards, what I'll do is, as we start our session at 6:45, we started our session at 6:45. So what I'll do is, our flow will get continued till 7:45. So after that, I'll give 15 minutes buffer time. for your questions. Okay, so that if you have any questions, just put make it note it down, so that 15 minutes buffer time we can you can ask, so that I can clarify it. So what happens in the middle, in the sense what is happens is, normally it will deviate the things actually. Don't take me wrong. So that my plan is supposed to be complete today's session, almost all quality, and I need to start support project. Okay, however, first 5-10 minutes I'll ask for questions, right? This thing, or else what we can do, initial first 10-15 minutes we can keep it for buffer for yesterday's session, so that you can ask, so that next we can continue. Either of this is okay for me. If you have any questions in the mean, so that you can note it down, and after the class 15 minutes buffer time, we can clarify all our questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
That's what.
And maybe we can record our questions in the chat, and
Exactly,
later
that's
once
what.
you finish your session, you can check the chat and you can reply. Yeah.
Yes, not an issue. But again, my thing, what request is, everything put in your notebook, or whatever following you are following. It would be easy in further references. So same questions maybe comes in next future batches or somewhere else. So you people see few batches. What I'll do is, I'll integrate at the time of integration. I'll combine whatever batches are there. Clear? So that someone may ask again, we will refresh everything at that particular point of time. So whatever questions you have right now, so probably they missed to ask in their particular time, so they may ask at that particular integration part. So instead of answered by me, you can answer them. Is it fine?
Oh, yep.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so we can call it for today, and we'll continue the same. So we have done with the development server. So just go through, and I'll share this recording once we are not recording. I'll share this documentation once we are done with this particular literature till here, till login enhancement project. Once we are done with the enhancement project, I'll share this documentation. After that also, once go through your documentation in your mobile or laptop, wherever it is possible, at that particular point of time also, you can ask the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Naveen.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Naveen. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Bye-bye.